Here's a group home story about the one time I ran away from one group home. Lots of kids in group homes run. It's fucking stupid. You run away, you put yourself in danger, and then you just get brought back to the group home. So I never ran. But while I was living at Cornerstone, we were having a lot of problems with Shawnee. If you've seen my other stories, then you know who Shawnee is. Shawnee's the one that shaved my head. She was a horrible person. She did horrible things to other people too. And the group home finally was like, Shawnee, if you run away one more time, we have to kick you out. And I'm like, so I convinced Shawnee that we were best friends and that all was forgiven. About 3 months later, I convinced her to run away. I run away, called the group home. Shawnee and I ran away. They're like, you ran away? For all intents and purposes, yep, Shawnee and I ran away. We sure did. They filed the runaway petition. They kicked her out that night. And guess who got to pack up all of her shit? I've had a few people message me and ask me to talk about my daughter and the situation with my daughter. And if you don't know, my daughter was kidnapped and held for 399 days by a sexual predator in the state of Georgia. And the state of Georgia pretty much let him walk away because, rich white guys, they don't go to jail for crimes like this. But that's beside the point. The reason why my daughter was kidnapped is because she was bullied so badly at her school that she didn't feel like she had any friends, and she didn't feel like anybody understood her. So she went online, and that's where she met him, online. I'm not saying I blame those kids for bullying my kid. I'm not saying I blame those teachers for bullying my kid. But that's the facts of what happened. So, if your kid's being bullied, you need to stop it. Take it fucking seriously and stop it. And if the school won't stop it, you stop it. Hey guys, so yesterday was a crazy day for me. I started the day with 12,000 followers, which when I set out to do this, I wanted 50. I told my husband, I said, if I get 50 people to follow me, I'll be happy. And I ended the day with 50,000. And I just can't. Like, my brain literally is like, cannot process it. When you grow up in foster care, like, you're in foster care because your own parents don't want you, or they're not good enough parents to keep you. Then you're in a foster home and they don't want you. So then you go to another foster home where they don't want you. And your whole life you feel unwanted and unloved and unlovable. And guys, you're going to make me fucking cry here, because from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say how much it means to me to have you guys follow me. I love you all. Okay. So, as the unofficial TikTok mom, I gotta come at you because holy shit. So there's a big difference in having 12,000 followers and 50,000 followers. And the major difference is I have a bunch of kids coming on my page all of a sudden telling me that I'm fat, I'm old, I'm ugly, my teeth are jacked, and that my forehead is too big. So here's the thing about that. If your mom or dad or grandma or auntie didn't teach you, if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything at all, that applies to TikTok as well. So y'all bitches just straight bullying people for fun. You think it's entertaining? Also, I was severely abused and neglected as a kid. I didn't go to the dentist for the first time until I was 12. I didn't own a toothbrush. So making fun of me for my teeth kind of makes you a dick. Group home story you might find entertaining. This goes back to the very first day that we got taken into care. So, if you watch my previous videos, you know that I went to my guidance counselor because I watched Growing Pains, and I was like, hey, I think my mom might have a drinking problem because she doesn't feed us. So they were like, all right, well, we'll call social services. Social services calls the police. The police send an officer to my house because they have to question my mom. I could totally be lying about this. But when the cops get there, my mom is naked, passed out in the front yard. So the cop's like, yeah, she's not lying about this. So they take my mom into custody, arrest her, put her into rehab. She wakes up 2 days later in rehab. We're already in an emergency shelter. But we got taken away that night, and they had to feed us. Now, I grew up on a hippie commune where I lived on, like, carob and, like, tofurkey. I had never had, like, actual meat before. Ooh, y'all, I wanted a McRib. I'd seen them on TV, and I thought they were amazing. Oh, no. Oh no, it was bad, y'all. It was so bad. All right, guys, so here's a group home story for you. When I went into foster care, I was in such bad shape that they literally labeled me feral. My teeth had never been brushed. My hair had never really been combed. It had been washed maybe 10 times in my whole life, and I was 12 years old. So I had to get a perm. And my mom, like, sewed all of our clothes, so I'd never owned, like, normal clothes, like a pair of jeans. So the very first place I ever moved to, Noah's house, they took me to the thrift store, and they bought me a pair of blue jeans, and they gave me a perm. And it meant the world to me. Just those two things changed my whole outlook. Having that love and compassion early gave me hope and faith when things got harder later. So just know it's the little things. It's those little things that make a difference to those kids. It's not those big grand gestures. Good morning, my lovelies. It's Thursday. You are almost done with the week. If you can just get through today and then get through tomorrow, then you've made it to the weekend. And I, for one, am so proud of you. I get it. I have a brain that's telling me, don't do anything today. You're sick. I started my periods, so I got cramps. And my brain is like, just lay in bed on a heating pad all day and watch crashy Jerry Springer. But my life is like, nope. You have to clean your bathrooms because everybody just got over being sick. You don't want to get sick again. And you have to do your laundry because you don't want your kids to get picked on for having dirty clothes. So I will be doing my shit today, even though my brain is like giving me a million reasons why I don't need to. I am telling myself I'm going to do the hard things. And I want you to do the hard things too. And I will be so proud of you. You go out there today and you shine as bright as you can.
I, at that point, never thought in a million years that anybody would ever want to take my pictures. People that I didn't know personally. So whenever anybody asks me now, could I take your picture or could I have my picture taken with you? I immediately say, why, of course. I know how it feels to be turned down. And when you can be in the position of turning up somebody at a time like that, I think it's a real addition.
All right, guys, I have one more debt pro tip for you. Keep detailed records. I keep a bullet journal, and every single person that I talk to, I take the date, the time, the name, and what we talked about. And I'm going to show you. So when you call the hospital and you ask to speak to the billing department and you ask for that level of care review, when you don't hear from them in a month and you call back, you don't just say, I called and spoke to somebody. You call and say, I spoke to Andre at 12:21 on this day. And this is what I do. All right, so this is my bullet journal, and this is where I keep track of stuff. This is when I called Atrium. This is when I called Novant. This is when I called Blue Cross Blue Shield. This is who I spoke with. This is exactly what they said. And sometimes there's notes on the back because it's pretty detailed and it goes all the way. And then this is a month later when I called Atrium back, when I called Novant back, when I called Blue Cross Blue Shield back. Keep records. All right, guys, here's a story about my daughter for you. So my whole life I've been a Christian. I have the love of Jesus in my heart. I've always had it in my heart, and that's why I have so much love to give to y'all. I'm not trying to preach to you. It's just my personal experiences. But my husband, who grew up in an agnostic family, did not have the love of Jesus in his heart. And while our daughter was missing, I relied on my faith more than I ever had in my life, and I've been through some dark shit, y'all. And my husband was like, maybe there's something to this whole God thing. So the Father's Day, 2016, he goes to church. We go to a Southern Baptist church where there's an altar, and he went up to that altar and he laid his Isaac down, y'all. He said, Lord, if you bring my baby back to me, I will shout from the rooftops that you are real. And guess who was back within a week? Our daughter. Thanks to God. You may not believe it. You don't have to. My personal. All right, guys. Here's a 60-second Fred Rogers fact for you because he's my personal hero. Fred Rogers single-handedly saved PBS. You can look it up. It's true. In the 80s, I believe it was Reagan, with the whole Reaganomics thing, they were going to cut the funding for PBS completely. Like, it's publicly funded, but, like, the government is involved. And he was like, we're going to take all the funding. And Fred Rogers felt so vehemently that what he was doing with his show was important, that he went and he fought them. He went to Senate and he went to Congress and he fought them. And because of him, we still have PBS. And I, for one, am so thankful to him that he did that. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for PBS. Also, side note, Big Bird was supposed to be on the Challenger, so take just a moment to think about how many kids would have been traumatized if Big Bird had blown up on the Challenger. Also true. Okay, guys, I want to make a point. All of my debt videos are only in reference to medical debt. If I have another credit card collection debt person come on there and be like, none of this is true. Well, duh. Credit card debt and student debt are absolutely different than medical debt. Medical debt is involuntary debt, and it is governed by the Federal Debt Collection Agency. Student loans and credit cards are voluntary debt. Totally different beast. And as far as I know, you can't get out of credit card debt. You can't get out of student loans. You can file bankruptcy, but that's all I know. Now, I don't know anything about those, but I'm going to do my due diligence and I'm going to try to come up with some answers for y'all because I want to help you so much. But I legit only know about medical debt. I never went to college and my mom fucked my credit before I was like 10 years old. Get ready because I'm about to spill the motherfucking tea. I'm about to sneeze and then spill the tea. I get asked all the time, oh my God, I don't want what happened to me to happen to you. What can I do to avoid it? And here's my advice. My daughter has Asperger's, oppositional defiance, ADHD, bipolar, and borderline. And yes, you can have both bipolar and borderline. It is very rare, but she does. So with all of those letters, there's a lot of behavioral issues that go along with that. And I'm going to be really real with y'all. I lost sight of my sweet little girl. I could only see her negative behaviors. And when you do that, you lose sight of them. And when you do that, you make them vulnerable to predators. So my number one advice is, I know your kid's probably difficult, but you can't lose sight that they're still your kid. Because if you do, they will step in. Hey guys, I have a confession to make. I know y'all think that I'm like so together and shit, but the truth is, I'm a hot motherfucking mess. So I just went to my kid's school, and I went to the Target in my coat. Right? In my coat. I've got my arms in the sleeves, and I can put my hands in the pockets. So I'm just doing my little thing. Bitches, it's on upside down. Upside down. I literally walked around Target like this with my jacket upside down for like 20 minutes. Nobody said anything. I think I would have said something. Maybe they thought I was doing it that way on purpose to make a fashion statement. But y'all, I just want you to know, I am a hot mess, y'all. I'm a hot mess. Good morning, my lovelies. It's Friday. You've made it through the week, and I am so bursting with pride. I'm so proud of you. You did so good. Look, I had a really rough week. I'm sick. My big has pneumonia. My little has flu. We had a huge school project. Got it turned in on time. And I got my kids to school every single day on time. If you hear the bell in the background, that's my kitten saying she's proud of y'all too. So you did it. Now, the reward is you get the weekend. Do something for you this weekend. Even if it's something as simple as taking a hot shower for 15 minutes and just relaxing. And if you have one of those brains that says, I'm not worthy, I don't want to do anything for myself, don't. Find somebody else to do something nice for. And in doing something nice for someone else, you'll make yourself feel better. I'm so proud of y'all. Best part about my week was I got to help a ton of people with their debt because of this app.